The Aquatrax process uses the Aquatrax machine built to our specification. The design of the machine spreads the load over 4 large tyres so that it does not damage the terrain, running track or sports pitches. The first task is to fill the tank with clean cold water. A first pass is made to thoroughly wet the surface and dislodge contaminants. On the second pass, the undercarriage is lowered. Within the undercarriage are directed water jets running at a pressure that will not damage the surface or line markings, and a vacuum extraction unit that sucks up the contaminants held in suspension. The machine cleans one lane at a time. One pass in each direction is normally sufficient to thoroughly clean the track, restore grip, and improve the appearance, meaning that Replay can clean a complete track in 2 or 3 days. To clean the edge of the track, a sidearm is used. For optimum results, we recommend that the rail is removed before we attend on site. A hand lance with a long hose can be used for additional areas. Since only water is used in the process, waste can be discharged into a foul drain. The Aquatrax process is also used for water-based synthetic sports pitches. These playing surfaces can become contaminated with algae and airborne matter. The water collected in the waste tank clearly illustrates the contaminants that our process removes from the playing surface. The collected wastewater can again be discharged in the same way into a foul drain. Our process restores a safe and consistent playing surface. For more information, contact Replay on 01636 640 506. The Fieldman portable testing device is one vital component in the ramp system. It is small and light enough for easy use. The carrying case is suitable for air or courier transport. Setting up on site could not be easier. Once charged, the Fieldman will work all day without a recharge. The case design makes the machine suitable for use outside in poor weather. As long as the ground is not frozen, testing can be carried out. At each location, the tests are carried out 3 times to ensure an accurate result. Once the tests have been carried out, then the data is input into the PSS asset management system. Using a PDA, there is no need for manual transcribing. The test data, combined with the asset management software, will provide the client with the empirical data needed to make investment decisions.
I'm grounds manager of the Woodland Playing Field Trust, and we constructed this new site 9 years ago. Unfortunately, for the first time this year, we've actually had to cancel games through the surface ponding, when in the past, whenever we've had rain, however much, the water's always gone through the surface within 5 or 10 minutes. This is the carpet as it is just before we start rejuvenation. It's very, very hard, there's moisture in it, and there's a little bit of moss and algae that's being formed because it's so wet.
The tire gauge is used to determine how much height is left in the fibre, because replay rejuvenation is a process that we will only introduce if there's enough fibre life left for the facility to benefit from rejuvenation taking place. The Fieldman is a device that we have in this country. It's one of a kind at this point for us, for Replay. And one of the testing methods is deformation. Deformation will test how far the surface deforms when the weight hits that surface. The lower that reading, the less it's deforming. And then once rejuvenation has taken place, we can then compare those two readings empirically and say that rejuvenation has given you back, on a deformation reading, this life. Replay rejuvenation is an air process, compressed air. So compressed air is fed from a compressor, 400 cubic feet of air, 170 at pressure, into our machine, which is called a beaver. The air is fed through the beaver into the surface, hits the carpet, and acts in essence cyclonically. So the air hits the carpet and on its return journey carries out the contaminated infill. That contaminated infill is carried through horizontal augers and a vertical auger out into a receptacle. In this instance it's a dumper, which empties the carpet of the contamination that is the cause of many of the problems that this surface is experiencing. It becomes slippery, ball, roll and bounce are unpredictable, and eventually the water will only hold on the surface and not drain as designed. A byproduct of our process of the replay rejuvenation is that the carpet is allowed to stand back upright, and that's very important because it can wear from the tip down as designed. The contaminated infill is carried out. You'll have noticed on this site that some of that infill is left as a film behind. That's because we're taking out as much of the contaminated layer as we can, of which there's quite a lot here. It's a wet day, and obviously wet sand, wet polypropylene fibre means that the sand will stick, and so a second process is introduced to carry away that second layer.
As you can see when you compare this with the piece that hasn't been rejuvenated, most of the sand's been taken out of this at the moment, but it's so much softer. I mean, we've still got to add the sand to this later on, but at the moment this is so much softer, and I can imagine the water's going to go straight through this compared with what we've had in the past.
The final process of the replay rejuvenation is replacement of extracted sand. So fresh sand, newly imported, is placed into the sandmaster. The sandmaster is driven around the surface, allowing via a belt-driven device the sand to drift with the front-mounted brush into the synthetic fibre. It will drop layer by layer, stage by stage, with help of the oscillating brush, until we reach a point where the sand sits to the tip of the fibre. This results in a surface that's great for play, will drain naturally, and satisfies all health and safety criteria.
We're 6 weeks on now from rejuvenation. We've had some dreadful weather through December and into January. We've had 9 inches of snow and lots of rain, but I'm pleased to say that we've managed to play a full fixture list. We've had no fixtures cancelled at all. The pitch, as you can see now, is much softer than it was. We haven't got any of those contaminations. It's clear sand, and whenever we have water it goes through, almost how it did when we originally had it 9 years ago.